Hey, you seriously watching porn all by yourself?
You can look, just look behind you. The screen's right there.
I don't need to look behind me. I don't think I do.
Fucking hate you, nigga.
So, do you know what today is?
No.
Yes. Today is the anniversary almost of when Playboi Carti released Die Lit.
Oh my god, really? Really? Who do I call? I don't care.
Oh, you care. You know why you gotta care? Because they care.
How did you do that?
Don't worry about that.
Look at the comments. You gonna take that from a bunch of incels?
Look, I don't even hate
Listen,
it.
you owe it to them. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the world to give a proper explanation of why this album was so bad for you. It doesn't even have to be this long-winded thing of just like why you don't love it. It's just, or why you do love it. It's just why does
No
it
one
have
even
to be
said
trash? What? Wait, what?
No. Okay, I could have.
You said in the
I could have been a
review.
little.
Yeah, but see, that's not what you said.
I
What you said before, huh? Nah, what you said
could have
before,
clarified.
huh?
Dude.
I'm gonna check back up on you. Make sure that gets done. All right? Bitch ass nigga.
Okay, now can you go away so I can finish what I was doing?
You nasty.
Would you please?
For a very long time, Shawn C lived in peace. Then everything changed when the Carti
really what I had in
attacked.
mind.
Only Shawn, master of nothing, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. So he just gone? A year passed and he rediscovered himself. A new man named Shawn.
Literally,
even though his skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to review anything. But I believe Shawn can save the world. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so listen. We all know the replay series, what it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to do, going back at criticism of albums that I either loved or hated, or going back at albums that people loved and I hated and offering my rebuttals as to why I didn't like it as much. That's what the replay series is all about. Giving outside perspectives, a platform to be showcased here for you guys to look at and giving my own perspective against it. Today we've got Die Lit by Playboi Carti. And you all know how I felt about this one. A year has passed, and to offer a brief analysis of how I feel about Playboi Carti's Die Lit, I'll say Pi'erre Bourne is the highlight of it for me. His production makes Die Lit like a plate of sugar. Nothing but sweets. Lucky Charms without the little brown pieces of shit, if you will. My only issue with that is, even though it seems like a great idea to give somebody nothing but a bowl full of sugar and just some milk added to it, it honestly doesn't sit too well in my stomach. How did I get... A man is in my stomach. How did I get there? The explanation was going great, and then I realized I just literally admitted to Playboi Carti being in my stomach. Shit crazy. But Die Lit to me is like a bowl of Lucky Charms with just the charms and nothing else to break up the monotony of how much sweetness you're getting from the production. Playboi Carti is a okay artist to some, I'm sure, but I need an artist that acts as a guiding light in an abyss of sugar. A lot of these songs are great in terms of their production value, but I don't really think Playboi Carti offers much to it when it comes to his ability as an artist. Pi'erre and Carti both have massive chemistry with each other, and Carti does bring an added sense of energy to a lot of these tracks, but to me that makes him devoid of any real presence. I don't really feel this album can be appreciated outside of how well it comes together, and for a lot of people that's essentially the point. But to me personally, I think a lot of people separate Carti from the actual production itself and use him as a highlight for why a lot of the songs are great. But personally, I feel like that credit should go to Pi'erre for making those instrumentals in the first place. I'm not against accepting the opinion that Carti might actually make some really good music along with Pi'erre and then they come together to make a great track. But Carti by himself, I don't know why people give so much credit to. But that's how I'm feeling right now. We're going to go into the online hemisphere. That doesn't make sense. And we're going to check out exactly where Die Lit stands in the eyes of the public. God damn, I need to clear my search history. What's Playboi Carti's real name? Can't even hate. He looks exactly like his name. Playboi Carti, Die Lit. Oh boy, I don't want to do this. I guess... let's look at my own review just to see if my thoughts have changed from what I said. I don't watch my own videos, so I literally look at them before I post them, and then I upload it, and then I never watch it again. I'm expecting anything major from Playboi Carti. So why am I still so disappointed? And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting anything from this project. It was another album from an artist that I wasn't too crazy over, but I was willing to listen to because I didn't expect any J. Cole, Kendrick type lyrical spiritual shit or anything like that. I was actually trying to get a vibe, but didn't end up hitting for me like that. And I'm like, what does a guy who's not lyrical, who really contains zero message in his music, have to say for an hour? An hour. What I didn't realize at this time was it wasn't necessarily what he had to say for an hour, it's what he had to sound like for an hour. What neurological functions he might provoke when listening to a project like this. That's kind of what it was going for. Get to some of the good of this project. Nah, there's none. See, that's kind of where I fucked up here, because there is good to this project, and for the life of me, I don't remember why I didn't mention Lean For Me or Shoota featuring Lil Uzi. Those are some really good tracks on Die Lit. That it could easily be overtaken by any of his features, like Travis Scott, for instance. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say on Wildin'. I re-listened to that track with Travis Scott, and I actually did feel like Playboi Carti fit the vibe for the track more than Travis Scott did. And Travis Scott is actually what ruined the track for me. Actually, a lot of these tracks with features don't really do that well for me unless it's Skepta or Lil Uzi. Skepta to me perfectly fit the eeriness of the track Lean, and also Uzi completely matched Playboi Carti's vibe for Shoota. In all honesty, I think the features should have worked harder to match the vibe of the tracks that Playboi Carti and Pi'erre have been working on. Because, in all honesty, the features feel more out of place than Carti does after a year of listening to this shit. Keef, Bryson Tiller all featured, Skepta's featured, and even though I don't enjoy Nicki Minaj trying to play with the word FaceTime for 15 seconds of her verse, she still does better than Carti. See, the point that I've grown to now that I feel I was missing in that last clip I just showed you was just how little I feel people like Nicki Minaj or people like a Bryson Tiller, or even going back to the J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake conversation, is that none of them contribute to the forwarding or the evolution of the sound of hip-hop. They don't. They haven't classified or made any subgenres. They haven't evolved the overall take or sound of hip-hop. And I feel like the things that pigeonholed hip-hop, or what could end up killing it, is the idea that they've pigeonholed themselves into these certain rules that classify what a rapper has to be or what they don't have to be, so that it no longer has to be called hip-hop. Hip-hop eventually is going to be left in the dust because there's so many subgenres that are going to be preferable to the older style. Simply put, Kendrick and Cole and Drake are all artists that are really huge that can give a lot of buzz to a new wave of music, but rarely do they ever start the new wave of music. Take an album like Damn from Kendrick Lamar, it's pretty much his take on a wave of music that had already started. The waves is coming from the kids, the wave is coming from the new age rappers, the wave is coming from these new artists. And only from the intimacy of a relationship like the one Pi'erre and Carti share were we able to get some instrumentation that sounded so fresh and sugary and sweet. You never would have got a project like this from any of your favorite lyricists, because more often than not, great lyricists don't make great music. Because you can be entertaining and not be lyrical, just like you can be a good rapper and not have any concept. At this point, I was really just like, fuck it, man. Like, this dude's just not entertaining to me. Like, he's not giving me anything to look forward to in his rapping ability. The dude's not saying anything, and I'm not saying the album has to be conceptual or lyrical to any degree, but I just didn't feel entertained. I didn't feel like he was doing enough. In its totality, I feel like this album is going to work as a stepping stone as far as the sonic design for their album, for just a more entertaining artist. But we can hop off my own nuts because, you know, there are a couple things a year later that I disagree with in my initial review to Die Lit. Playboi Carti's Die Lit is the prime example of what's wrong with hip-hop right now. I think I probably sounded like an asshole about this album last year. It's been said time and time again that the subculture of trap rap is quickly stagnating. It is? Well, it's become just about as stale as it can now. Playboi Carti now sealed the deal. Playboi Carti's Die Lit is the prime example of what's wrong with hip-hop right now, featuring drool songs and dull production and uninspired pulp as lyrics. This is one of those situations where I want to sit back and pull my phone out and watch somebody else get their ass beat, because this dude, I already feel like he's wrong, but I'm not on the other side either. I just want to watch two idiots go back and forth. Production on this album is far from dull. I'm a big fan of Young Thug. I'm a big fan of Travis Scott. I'm somewhat of a fan of Sheck West. These are all artists that I feel do things to separate themselves from the instrumentals that they're on that make them entities that can be appreciated outside of just the production that they're layered in. Carti to me just like hides himself in it, and the only way I feel like he could be appreciated is if you don't disconnect him from the instrumentals. And I know for some people that's probably the defining factor of what makes Die Lit so good for them. To me, I feel like if you're not going to add anything to the instrumental, you making yourself seem more like an effect doesn't do much for me. It makes me feel like anybody else could do what you do. Trap music is quickly becoming Pulp Fiction. The proof is right there in the numbers. Die Lit is an hour-long, 19
kill
songs
yourself.
of boring
Jesus.
weak delivery that make absolutely no impact. Die Lit is the dying breath of a deflated genre. The album should serve as the final mark of this branch of trap music. Minimal beats and repeating the same word as the hook in every song has lost its charm and hype. For the other part of hip-hop that is branching out to more active beats, Lil Pump, 6ix9ine, there is still hope? Did you really just say Lil Pump and 6ix9ine are preferable options? The lackluster performance from start to finish truly puts the nail in the coffin for this one. It is time for something to change. I'll be honest with you, this article sounds like it was written by a 39-year-old hip-hop head who just found out his older daughter got pregnant by a face-tatted rapper, and now he's going on this long rant as payback. Playboi Carti reveals he has the worst what the fuck? No, I'm not interested. Let's go to Metacritic, because I just want to see some shit. This is my favorite album ever.
Really?
Let me explain why. Many people have deemed this album something they love but don't get why, and this is due to the context surrounding the album. Carti is unfairly treated with immediate skepticism due to his role in the SoundCloud rap scene, and people initially listen to his music to discover how bad it really is. Hell, that's how I found out about his music in the first place. And often used in somewhat fair critique is that Carti's music is brainless and lacks any coherent meaning. This is correct. Carti's music isn't about anything really, and that's how it thrives. Die Lit doesn't serve any purpose, and Carti's aware of this. Can you capitalize the C's right now? Because I'm getting really confused on where to stop and pause and continue. Carti thrives through absolutely pure hedonistic pleasure. And that's what that album gives you. Pure pleasure and enjoyment throughout.
That's not necessarily true.
Die Lit is just plain enjoyable to listen to. Absolute master of atmosphere. Completely understands how to craft the tone for a song and how to turn something that would normally be deemed as brainless or stupid into something deep and meaningful. See, I would respect that if you didn't just contradict what the fuck you just said earlier in the review. Music that can touch your soul and is your soul, bitch. Your soul. Simple hooks and repetitive bars turn into a pounding rhythm that hits inside you. Sounds like you're getting fucked. This album is always playing for me in a subtle way. It's truly changed how I view music and art in general, and at the end of the day, we all live to enjoy What? Okay, I'm not gonna hate on you, alright? I get what you're trying to say. This album makes you happy. Cool. But fuck that.
Fuck him.
See, I think what he's trying to say here is that at some point it doesn't become a rap song anymore. I think it becomes something that your brain ends up being attracted to. And I feel like the sounds and the way Carti uses his voice can sometimes bring that attraction to something that you just neurologically can't explain why you love so much, other than it existing as something that pleases one of your five senses. Very rarely does music even touch you neurologically. See, a lot of time when it comes to describing rap music and why we like it, we can limit ourselves to just using our mind to describe what beat, what song, what lyrics impacted us the most. But sometimes when you listen to certain rap music, you just are pleased and you don't know why. And I think they might have unintentionally tapped into something that neurologically can't really be explained, the sweetness and the texture of an album like Die Lit. This is almost great except for one crippling flaw: words. The album's subject matter, structure, and delivery is just awful. Full stop. This is the same juvenile shit that put trap on the map. Bitches, you bet. Pussy, absolutely skirt. Do I even have to ask? Delivered at a mumble, sure thing. The rhymes are basic. When he isn't mumbling, Carti does this nasally baby voice that's hilariously bad. The baby voice, to me, I can't even describe why people even enjoy it. Like, they use it as if it's some highlight to the music. Personally, It's not it.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hearing a man mumble his way through a song and sound like a baby isn't necessarily how I want to spend my time listening to rap music. And you can define this as anything other than rap as much as you want. Carti clearly knows what he's doing. This album wants to transcend trap and pop rap. That much is clear. The instrumentals are working on it, but the delivery and writing has essentially kneecapped it. I can't agree with you there because the lyrics aren't what make a genre. More often than not, genres are defined by how music sounds first. But, you know, you could talk about whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't matter. Sure, he could have very poppy, quote-unquote, rap lyrics, but if the music is something beyond what we had come to expect from normal trap hip-hop, then he's essentially done his job. I have zero problems with repetitive, minimalistic, trancey beats. I have zero problem with rapping that focuses on intonation and melody instead of lyricism. I agree. My problem is that neither of these things are being done as well here as reported, and that's all I really have to say. None of the ad-libs, hooks, or for the most part even beats stand out to me. I just don't find these songs catchy, memorable, or pleasurable as most people seem to, and perhaps as a result, to me the music lacks personality. That's a really good point, honestly. The thing about somebody like a Young Thug is that his music isn't necessarily the biggest appeal to him. It's his personality, it's his zany nature, it's his creative, weird way of layering himself over a track that makes you excited to hear his voice regardless of whatever beat is about to drop. Simply put, I don't think Young Thug would need Pi'erre Bourne to make a great album, whereas I think that's exactly what Carti would need to be considered anything more than what he was on his self-titled project. And again, I come back to my point that I feel all the credit's going to Carti when it should be going to Pi'erre. Playboi Carti raps and drops ad-libs with an irresistible sense of swagger, looseness, and arrogance. I would go so far as to say that Playboi Carti is unironically the Pac rock star of our generation. I see why people call shit punk, more so because of the origination of punk music, as kind of like a versus to rock and roll music because it becomes so stale and so unmoving for such a time, and rap music for a long time has been in that same vein of rock and roll to the extent that nothing really new is being done with it. So you hear somebody like Playboi Carti come around and they start doing this kind of different style and taking a totally new approach, you could consider them a punk star. Playboi Carti kicked down the door of safety in hip-hop. Kanye, Travis Scott, SoundCloud rap, the Lil was running around, have essentially kicked down the safety door that hip-hop's been hiding behind for so long, and I know a lot of them don't like it, but it's refreshing to hear, and I guess that would consider them punk to a degree. Though it isn't, I see what they're trying to say. Okay, I had a goddamn near religious experience listening to this shit. Oh, God. Not too long ago, I wouldn't have understood this album, but it makes total sense to me. I'm going to bandwagon this shit so fucking hard because this album might be far from a trendsetter, but it's 100% genre defining. You could very easily argue that albums like Flockavelli and Rodeo inspire the sound of trap to come, but I have a hard time imagining this thing will largely inspire anything. I disagree. I've heard elements of Pi'erre Bourne's instrumentals being done off of projects like Lil Yachty's Nothing to Prove, emulated from artists like Trippie Redd. I think this form will catch on. I don't know if the style of Carti is what's going to maintain its longevity. Playboi Carti using his ad-libs to carry out like their full verses just makes some of the songs feel really stagnant. After a little while, you listen to Home KOD, it's just not going anywhere because the dude's saying the same shit over and over again. It has nothing to do with him not being a great lyricist. At one point, it's just, you're not taking me anywhere. There's no momentum that this track had. Let's see if I can find some other place to gawk at this project. Playboi Carti Dialect Review. Rap at its most radiant from high snobiety. Are you sure about that?
Wow. Damn, bitch. Damn, bitch.
I'm not even gonna read this because I don't want to get mad, but here's what I will say. Every now and again, I feel like hip-hop needs something to make it a little uncomfortable so that it can get out of its comfort zone, because without albums like this, we'd still be listening to boring-ass 90s boom-bap rap from New York. And hip-hop purists would be just fine with it, listening to the same shit from every other rapper coming out, trying to prop them up. And you can't give marketability to the exact same shit. Rap at its most radiant, I agree with. All you Tupac dick suckers can choke on his dead cock. Dialect 10 out of 10. Only this ugly, stupid nigga would have nice beats but still ruin them. His mumbling is terrible, and don't even get me started on his ad-libs. Terrible half-ass project. That was really mean. Album fire as fuck. Pi'erre went stupid on the beats. Carti is pure swag rap, no attempt at lyricism, just style. This is shit you fuck bitches to. I don't know. Come on, man. Sorry. You gotta go. You gotta. I'm off the website now. You gotta go. Boy said, fuck bitches to Playboi Carti. Wow. You are a child predator. That's all that means. There's no chick over 20 that's fucking you to Playboi Carti. I'm telling you that. This album makes me want to give birth. Who's writing this shit? The songs here are simply captivating and utterly enthralling. With the blood pumping into the anxiety-induced closer, there's not much wasted time here. Die Lit is a near masterpiece and perhaps even one of the greatest trap rap albums of the entire decade. For the sake of the video, I'll just go along with people mistitling, you know, certain sounds and production as trap. But, I guess he's right. We don't have much to compare Die Lit to as far as what's in the trap rap scene already, so technically speaking, if it does anything production-wise that really evolves, yeah, it probably will be one of the best trap rap albums of the entire decade. Is Die Lit by Playboi Carti the best album of 2018? Well, to be fair, you have to have a very high... I don't know, okay? The Playboi Carti Die Lit project is pretty much like this. I could ask for lyrics, even though that's never what I asked for in the first place. If I asked for lyrics, what would a guy like Playboi Carti give me? More of the same idiotic stuff that I've come to expect from mainstream hip-hop and rap. Shit about money, women, drugs. Like, I don't need him to rap about that stuff. If he's gonna come lyrically, I'd rather him not come lyrically with anything than come at me lyrically with that. I have artists that exist in a very witty way. I have artists that exist to give me lyrics that are very tongue-in-cheek and very funny, like Open Mike Eagle, or someone like a Rico Nasty, or someone as eccentric and off the wall as a Young Thug. I have people that are going to give rapping in that vein. So I don't necessarily need Playboi Carti to rap. The essential essence of this album exists just for the sound. All you've got to look at is Playboi Carti's flow, his ad-libs, or the way he maintains a certain pocket, and that's it. Which again makes me wonder if Playboi Carti is the only person that could deliver what was delivered vocally to Die Lit. And honestly, his addition of simplicity to this project doesn't make me feel like the things that we got from Carti on Die Lit are native to him, which is what prevents me from liking the project so much because it seems so low effort. At the same time, I'm not going to continue to call it trash just because there's someone out there that can probably do the exact same thing Carti did with this project. What I will give both Pi'erre and Carti credit for as a team, as a duo, as a combination, is the sound that they've come up with and help evolve. Because artists like J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake get credit for shit just for rapping, and they never actually help hip-hop evolve into anything, while Playboi Carti and a bunch of the other SoundCloud artists get shit for not rapping as hard, but are the exact people that essentially end up acting as the big three's foundation. Year after year after year, more popular, more prominent lyricists that we know of are going to use their sound and take off with it. Meanwhile, they get shit on for not rapping as well as they do, but they're the tastemakers for those people. And I don't agree with that either. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I do like the production and the style of Die Lit, but personally, Carti just doesn't give me anything to look forward to. So it doesn't do much for me when I hear his voice over Pi'erre Bourne's instrumentals. I'm really looking forward to that track Kid Cudi that's unreleased that I've been hearing all over Twitter. And I'm going to try to appreciate Playboi Carti for what he is and what he can give, but that ain't much to me. But we'll see in the future. Hopefully something I can attach myself to and find in his music. But right now, I'm having a hard time doing so. But I'm not calling his album trash anymore. I'll let go of it. And y'all can have that one. See y'all in the next one. Thank you for watching. And I'm out. Peace.
Nah, nigga, this is my channel. I'm in the video.
What's up now,
what?
nigga? I'm out the
Yo,
chair
chill.
now.
I'm out the chair now, boy. I'm out the chair now. I'm out the chair.